Nation, airing live on the United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM in New Orleans. This show's entrance has been edited, produced, and directed by Gwen Clapper from Perfect Trust Productions, LLC. You can find us at perfecttrustproductions.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday night's segment of Horsefly Chronicles Radio with myself, Julia Siracusa, and Phil Siracusa. We're broadcasting live from the International Public Radio and the United Paranormal Radio Network on 105.3 FM from New Orleans. This evening's show is fully sponsored by Carnation, so we want to thank them for their sponsorship. We love them. You will have to do a few things in order to participate. Go over to the YouTube channel, UFO Paranormal Radio, or International Public Radio. You can also go into all of the Facebook stations, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo, News on the Flip Side, Twitch, SoundCloud, Podbeam. Also go over to our group, Horsefly Chronicles Radio, and join if you haven't. And if you have any questions for our guests, please ask. Today, guys, we have an amazing guest. We are really looking forward to speaking with him. So please welcome Joshua Lewis to the show. Joshua is a medium who connects with loved ones and celebrities who have crossed over. Tonight, we're going to see how he communicates with these souls. He is the founder of H.O.P.E, Helpers of Paranormal Entities, and has a YouTube channel, H.O.P.E Paranormal. He's the author of Finding Hope in the Afterlife, an honest account of my spiritual journey and afterlife research, which can be found on Amazon.com. So please let's welcome Josh to the show.
Welcome.
Welcome, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's very, very nice. Phil and Julia.
We've been looking forward to this.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's an honor anytime I get to share with anyone about what I'm doing, and you guys seem to have a really cool program. So very cool. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
So, Josh, take us to the beginning of your story. What drove you into researching the paranormal, and what was your childhood like? Because it always starts, from our childhood, right?
Well, I mean, I talk about that in the book and to share a little bit about it, and I can talk, so just cut me off if I'm going too long, because I'm normally not quiet, but my childhood was in the tri-state area, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, full-blooded Italian. So I was raised Catholic, and as a young kid, I was a very sensitive guy. I was the smallest kid in my class, and I was always, I felt a very strong connection to Jesus Christ, but it was kind of what was told to me. And I would go and sit in churches by myself on my bike sometimes, as a little kid, 9, 10 years old. And I'd have this really amazing feeling when I would focus and just sit in the church and just kind of look at Jesus on the cross. And, shortly after, around like 12, 13, I started getting into trouble, and I started, getting in with the wrong kids and the wrong, the whole wrong scene. And my father moved us from Connecticut down to South Florida, where I am now, Palm Beach County. And, it didn't get better for me. I was hoping that the change of scenery would be like kind of a fresh start after kind of getting in some trouble. And it didn't. I ended up getting into worse trouble. I got involved in drugs and all kinds of things. And I ended up catching a very serious charge when I was about, how old was I? 22, 23, I think. I had it was a drug deal gone bad, and I ended up shooting the drug dealer 6 times, and I ended up getting sent to prison for it. in there, I felt a crazy evil feeling at one night. I felt like this very powerful negative entity, and it was the first time I ever felt anything like that. And I was locked in my cell, and there's no air conditioning in the prison I was at, and it was in the middle of summer, so it was a really hot situation. And I had this pounding headache, but I could feel this negative entity or presence within the cell. And all I could do was call out to Jesus Christ. I just kept saying, Jesus Christ, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. And, Jesus, please come to me. And instantly I felt relief. I felt my headache start to subside. I started to feel peaceful, and I was able to fall asleep. And that really kind of, other than a really powerful spiritual experience I had years prior at a church that I talk about in my book, that was like a real paranormal kind of feeling. That was a very, it wasn't as spiritual. It was more like it was a scary moment. And then I called on Jesus in a way I'd never tried before. And, I got relief. So shortly after I was released, I kind of had a clean start to my life. I had no job. I had no place to live. I had no money. So it was a fresh start. And hold on. I think I hear my kid. Sorry about that. I have a 3-year-old, and sometimes she comes running down the hallway. She might be. Her mom has to get her. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
To that.
All right, we'll see how that goes. This is the trouble of working from home. I love it. I get to be around my kids, and I get to, be around my family, but it can get noisy sometimes. But anyway, so after I got out, I started some businesses. I did very well for myself, but there was this yearning to know more about really what was on the other side. I'd seen shows, I had seen things, but I really didn't know. And I wanted to have a firsthand experience. I wanted to really explore more of what I believed and what I was experiencing spiritually. I wanted to really research it. So it started out with just me and my partner, Nikki, buying the basic PSB7 and the K2 meters and the, just small digital recorders, and going to locations. And we ended up picking up responses. They were not long, but they were clear, and it was help, or it was get out sometimes, but there was a lot of help me. We heard the word light. We heard the word God. Sometimes we heard different words that we knew. We heard our names being mentioned. This was crazy. This was firsthand experience that we were having. And we asked a medium. I knew of a medium. I really hadn't had many experiences with psychics or mediums. I was not one myself, as far as I knew. I had intuition, but I didn't feel like I was able to communicate with spirits. And so we asked this medium to come out with us, and we went to a location that we had been, just Nikki and I. And we had some names that we had recorded from some of the spirits. We asked their names, and this woman, without knowing anything, without telling her anything, she was picking up on these names. She was picking up on stuff that we already had. We worked with her for a few months, and the kind of stuff that we were capturing was like, I'd be running the spirit boxes, or I'd be using a recorder, and she, as a medium, would be channeling a spirit or connecting with the spirit and giving the answers that we would ask questions, and then we would get answers from her, speaking for the spirit. And then all of a sudden we would get stuff that would back up what she was saying on the recordings. It would say, yes, this is right. Or the same word would come through on the recording. That was pretty wild. That was kind of validating her. Right. And then other information was verifiable. But I was still very skeptic. And then she said one night that we were going to receive this ability ourselves. She said to Nikki, and Nikki was really in disbelief of this woman kind of at times. So she really kind of had an issue with her almost. And yet this woman was saying that our abilities were going to be opened up. And one night I came home and I had just talked to a friend over the phone that his son had committed suicide. And the minute I walked into the house, Nikki said, you spoke to someone, or something happened. Someone committed suicide, and she knew. And it was like her ability had come about. And we sat for hours just, sitting outside and just talking. And I would ask her these questions of things that she had no knowledge of, and she was getting it right. And we would do these amazing sessions. We kept doing it. And about a couple months after that, it was told that I would also get this ability to start communicating. And of course, one night, the same kind of way it happened. And it's very strange to me. So because I logic comes in and it goes, this doesn't make sense. This can't be real. How is this possible? And so I started working. I found a teacher, this woman, Deborah Lynn Katz, is an amazing teacher. And she runs the International School of Clairvoyance. And she's taught, a lot of people on how to develop their intuitive ability. And like her, she was not born knowing she was a medium or psychic. She was a probation officer. And, that's how she started. But she found her ability and was able to teach people. So I worked with her, and she showed me how to bring out my ability more and how to work with it, how to use tools, thought forms, different things. And that really blasted me off. I started doing, readings and sessions for people. And they were very powerful, very accurate most of the times. Sometimes you can't quantify it. You can't measure it. You don't know how to bottle it up. And so sometimes you're off. And, I'm the kind of guy that will do something amazing 9 times. And then the 10th time it will be off. And I'll think that I've lost it all now. That's still something that I have to work with because of the doubt. But I've been doing this 10 years, and it's been just an amazing journey that continues. And now I'm using the boxes even more. And the equipment is from where we were 10 years ago to where we are now is remarkable. It really is.
The technology that's come up is amazing. I think your story is fascinating. It seems like you had a divine intervention. You were bad, then God answered a prayer, right?
Absolutely. I feel that. I give all credit to Christ. What I am doing, I'm going to tell you straight up right now. It is a very clear message that I have. When I show people what I do on the channel, when I do these sessions, I'm grateful to do sessions for people, bring their loved ones through. I'm always honest about everything I do. I try to be as transparent about everything I'm doing, and that's the way to be. I'll answer any question. Nothing's off limits. I don't care. But the bottom line is that I'm always trying to show people there's a higher power. You can have a connection with that higher power. That's the most important thing that there is. And when people write to me and they say, and this isn't for, and I'm saying this wholeheartedly, when people send me these wonderful comments and messages, I love these videos. They're amazing what they've done for me, these, my faith. And I go, give that credit to God. If you're seeing that and getting that feeling, then he's working through this work. That's what's happening. So I give all credit to Christ, and I have to keep saying that. It's very important that I say that. So
I like that.
That's true.
I think it's fascinating, what you're doing. And we had to put out a request for you to use this device tonight on air. And you responded back. We could, ask a couple of questions. And then we're going to have questions on the device and what you do and how you do it and who we're speaking to or you're speaking to. And then we're going to talk about the afterlife. I love what you do. And
thank you.
And I want people, I think the biggest thing, especially in today's world, as we all know, the world seems to be upside down. And I myself believe in the afterlife. I've had my own experiences, and people like yourself come forward Now, I don't know much about some of these devices. Did you make this box, or is
Yeah,
this someone else's box?
So the box, so there's different, I'm using different devices that other people have built. You know, some of them have been built by, you know, there's this guy, John Mallory, that hacks different devices that I'm using some of his stuff. I've got, you know, boxes from Frank Sumption. I've got Steve Huff has made a couple boxes that, you know, I've used his different, you know, different devices. But really what I've tried to do is incorporate everything that I'm using, when it comes to like a radio box, a different, like one of Huff's devices, and I'm trying to improve upon it and put my own, you know, thing to it. So really what I did is that I created the HSB one, which is the H.O.P.E Spirit Box app. And this is a free app that I created. And it's on iOS and it's on Android. And the way that this box works or the way that this app works is really like all of these different boxes together. It's using reverb. It's using, hold on, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's fine.
Okay. It's a madhouse always. So again, what we're doing, so let me explain this really quickly before I go any further with that. The spirit box, or any type of spirit box, really works. There's only 3 ways, in a sense, that this could work. It's either going to run off of radio, okay, scanning radio stations quickly. It's either going to run off of a sound bank, which could be a bank of words that is in the device. It could be in the box, or it could be in the app. And these are just words that, you know, that are in there that cycle through. Or it could be sounds, not words, but sounds. Okay. And some people have experimented with using phonetic sounds and different sounds that are not words. I've had some success with that, but I haven't had as much success. When I use a spirit box that uses radio, scanning different radio stations at a fast rate, or an app that uses forward speaking speech in a sound bank, the spirits can use it, but I get a lot of false positives. False positives meaning words that come through when it's really not a spirit using it. And a lot of times people that are not as experienced with this will get an app or get a spirit box, and they'll start using it. And it's part of the experience. It's nothing that, you know, that's part of the journey. But you will hear things that will be coming from that broadcast or that sound bank, like I said, that is not a spirit. So what I came up with, I was one of the first to take human speech, reverse it, chop it up into small pieces, 2-3 second clips, and then slow it down some and mix it all around. Now that way you still get the human speech factor, but you're not going to get any word that's going to come through as a false positive. Either it's gibberish or the spirit will use it. Some people do not. I think some paranormal investigators, listen, we don't really know everything. There's a lot we don't know, and I don't claim to be an expert. I just claim to understand more of my own research and the evidence I'm capturing. So let me just say that, okay? Some people will say, well, the way that a spirit box works is that the spirit takes or plucks a word from the broadcast and uses it. And I would beg to differ with that. I think what they're doing is, and we've been able to prove this now, is that the spirit, the entity, is taking the sound and manipulating the sound to form their own response. And when you have a little bit of echo mixed in with that sound, it creates a deeper wave, a longer wave. And when there's a longer sound wave, they can manipulate it easier than just a speaking like this. But when there's that echo behind the sound, that's when they're able to formulate it. So I'm giving them raw speech with this. Okay. It's like, it's raw, and I'm going to play it for you. So let's just say, so this is how the app works. I'm going to kind of give you guys a little breakdown of the app. I want to make sure I'm all reversed here. So hold on. Let me go this way. Okay. I don't want the glare. All right. So what I'm going to try to do here, you would choose a raw sound. So you want to choose a bank. Now, there's no way to know for 100% sure that who we are reaching out to is the exact person that we are reaching. And I'll say that as well. Anyone that claims they know for 100% that it's them, that's a major reach to say. I feel confident that who I'm reaching out to, I feel them intuitively. We get responses that sound like it could be the person. And a lot of times it's factual information. So that's a good clue, but we still, no one knows for sure. But you say your prayer, you trust in your protection and your guidance, and so you can pick. There's a mix of a man and women, 1 and 2. There's different tracks, and there's no words in any of these, just sounds. It's just the reverse chopped up speech. You got the man, you got a woman, you got a young man, a young woman. So if you're wanting to speak with someone, a loved one, a relative, someone that died when they were 80, you might want to go with an older voice and give that to them to see if maybe that will help them. But I'm going to use the mix. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see if this works here. So, I chose the man-woman mix. Now I'm going to turn off the reverb. The reverb is already on, and it's a little tab you can just hit. And I'm going to play you the raw sound so you can hear what it is. Some people think it's a foreign language, and I tell them, no, it's just gibberish. It's the job of the spirit to use and manipulate it. So you hear it? It's just a regular. Okay, so I'll close the noise gate. I'm going to turn that reverb back on. I like it. You can adjust it from 0 to 100. Anywhere between 80 and 100 is a really good kind of reverb. And down here, you've got a recording feature where you can record these clips to your phone. And that way, after you ask a question and you record a potential response, you can go to your recording section and you can listen back and review. Because a lot of times you don't hear the response in real time. You got to go back and review. Right. A lot of this is done in the review. All right. So I will try to record it, I guess. Let's see. Allow. And you don't want to open the gate for too long. So you want to say, I'm just testing this right now. I'm here with Phil and Julia. We're just doing an interview. Is there anyone that wants to say hello or say anything quick? And then you stop recording. So, I don't know. I heard something. I'm going to play it back. We'll see if we captured anything. I'm just asking if my guides or any of my helpers want to say, hello or something simple that we can hear right now. But when we open this gate, after we hit record and we say, hello, is there anyone there? That's when we want to open this and slide it open, but just for like 2 seconds, not too long, too much. We don't want to let too much sound through. So it's something like, and sometimes and it's very low, so it may be hard for you guys to hear. I'll try to turn it up a little bit more, but I tell people to start off simple, to just go with a very short opening, a simple question, nothing too hard. Try to establish a connection. I think a lot of people don't realize that, when you turn on these boxes, these devices, that it does require you to tune into your own intuitive connection.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't realize that. And I say, you gotta, you don't have to get it all right as a psychic. You don't have to be, the Long Island medium or something.
You have to have a strong intention.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a very clear intention, and open yourself up for that spirit to communicate.
Correct.
Through the device. Because if you're blocked and you say, I don't believe, and it's this and that, then nothing's going to work. You never, even if it spells out everything, you're still not going to get it because you're blocked.
Right. And I'm going to tell you that when you do that, the evidence actually gets scientifically better. It actually gets better. I mean, it's absolutely amazing because they are allowed to connect with you now. The intention, like you said, is set, and it's a good thing. So that's, that's very important. Let me go back to that recording for a second. Let me see if I can you hear? I mean, I turned up the volume. So let's see. Okay. Now then, okay. So when you're done, the tabs are on the bottom, and so the home will bring you back to home, but the little lifeline, the little wavelength line will bring you to the box, and then there's the little recording tab that you can hit, and you'll have a list of your recordings, and from there you can delete it, or you can rename it, or then you can send it to someone. You can share it if you want. You can write from the app. It's pretty amazing. And so let me see if I could find the where it is now. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I turned up the volume. Let me see if we can hear it better. And you don't want to open the gate for too long. So you want to say, I'm just testing this right now. I'm here with Phil and Julia. We're just doing an interview. Is there anyone that wants to say hello or say anything quick? Yeah, it sounds like a potential response, but I can't tell. It really it requires me to go back and really listen and pay attention. I wish it was a little bit more direct, and sometimes it is. Sometimes I can hear the direct. I mean, in every session I get 20% of it in real time, but a lot of it is just record, connect, connect, record, and then go back and review. Let's see. Let's have you ask a question. Let me see if I can undo this.
Can it hear me?
Hold on. What did you say, Phil?
Oh, can the box hear me from here? Sure.
Yeah, because I do a lot of my sessions through Zoom, and I just leave it.
Okay.
That's how I record it normally. And if I had a little bit more time to prep, I would have tried to set myself up, but it was a little bit kind of short notice, and I apologize because it would be tough for me to do. But let's try this again. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Which spirit is in the Horsefly Chronicles home that has been here for many years and that has claimed the land and the home?
Hold on. Let's try it again. Hold on. So like I said, this is, an app that you get on iOS and Android, and it's free, and you can try it out. And the more you play with it and the more you focus, it will definitely, it's people that don't understand it or how it should work, don't necessarily get it right away. But I try to bring as much attention to it. All right, let's try this again.
You want me to re-ask the question?
Yeah, ask it again.
Which spirit is in the Horsefly Chronicles home that claims the land and that is inside the home present at this time? What is your name?
I'm going to ask again. What can you repeat the name or tell who is there? Okay. Now watch this. Let me see if this works real quick. So, I mean, I'll play it back, but what I would like to do is I can just immediately send that to you, and you guys, I can send it right to an email, and you guys can have it and listen to it yourself and check it out.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool because there might be something there. I don't want to sit here and just try to listen.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me see if this is the one. You don't want to open the gate for too long, so you want to set. Okay, that's not it. Hold on. Question? Yeah, ask it again.
Which spirit is in the Horsefly Chronicles home that claims the land and that is inside the home present at this time? What is your name?
I'm going to ask again. What Can you repeat the name or tell who is there? Sounded like the word spirit. I heard spirit in there at the end, but I didn't understand it. And sometimes it requires that you have to slow it down. I mean, there are some responsibilities on our end that we need to do in order to get, people will watch my videos and they'll say like, wow, it sounds amazing, or it's like it's so clear or whatever. And I've done a lot of sessions. I was on the Leak Project many times with Rex Bears. I've done some other programs where I recorded with them live, where I just turned on my boxes and I let the host ask questions like you guys are asking, that I had no idea what anyone was going to ask, and they ask and they get clear answers, stuff that we don't hear right away. Yeah. And the original recording is there because we did the broadcast, we did the live or whatever, and it's on their channel. But then a week later, I'll send them, the captioned video, and they'll go and they'll watch it and they'll go, oh my God, how is that? That was crazy that was right there. And they go back to the original video and they'll hear that response, but it was the one I showed them was slowed down a little bit. That's all. Let's try something else real quick. I want to try one more thing with you. Say that again?
You definitely have to slow it down to like really hear.
Yep. Here, hold on. I want to try one more thing with you guys. Hold on.
So to the listener out there, this is very interesting. Communication with the other side is possible. And that's what you're listening to tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to take these off for a second. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. I mean, this is a very interesting. Some people think that a few hard skeptics have tried to debunk this recorder, this being the DR60 recorder. And some people, now there are other recorders out there. There are other clear recorders that can pick up clear EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, then there's no sound provided like the app. It's more just on the energy of the spirit. But this recorder, this was made by Panasonic in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it was only $30. It was not on the market for very long. It was discontinued because people were saying they were hearing voices that were not themselves. It wasn't them. And so Panasonic discontinued, saying it was a faulty chip that created a defect that mimicked voice, the human voice. So that doesn't make sense. It's hard to, again, make this out in real time, but at the same time, you can hear it very clearly that there's a spirit that's always there, willing to communicate, especially with me. Anytime I turn it on, I ask a question, 90-something% of the time, I'll get a response, and you can hear the cadence. And I've picked up a lot of powerful responses. So let's try this. I'm going to have you ask that same question, Phil, again, if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So just ask and then just cut it once you're done. And I'm going to show you guys that this has got the voice activation system. Now, what happens is you could set the sensitivity very low. And what will happen is that there's a little red light up here. And when the red light is solid, nothing's happening. But if it's blinking, that means something's using it. That means someone is speaking at that moment. So we're going to look for that red light to flash after you ask your question. Okay. All right, hold on. There's a perfect volume setting to have. Let's see if we can try this. Okay. So I'm going to hit record. I'll point to you. You ask your question, Phil. Here we go.
What is the name of the spirit that is in the Horsefly Chronicles home with myself, my wife, and my family that has claimed the land and the property itself?
Okay. You can see that. Like if you can see this, let me see. I put a little nail polish mark where it seems to be a really good sweet spot for the volume to be on, because what's happening is that this recorder creates a little bit of a hiss, like a little hiss, and they will use that sound to help form their response. So let's hear.
What is the name of the spirit that is in the Horsefly Chronicles home? Myself, my wife, and my family that has claimed the land and the property itself.
That was very loud. All right, I'm going to try one more with you. Okay, hold on. And then we'll move on. I'm going to ask for you, okay? Or I'm going to ask that question, okay? I'm going to kind of just... Okay, can I ask now, who is the spirit that is in Phil and Julia's home that has claimed ownership of the land? Who is there that he's asking about? How about now?
Want me to ask you?
I don't know.
All right, I thank you. So the whole time that light was blinking, there's speaking going on. So check this out. So I asked the question, and then right away, there's a little marker, a little time marker, and it starts flashing with that light. So let's take a listen. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let's see.
Okay, can I ask now, who is the spirit that is in Phil and Julia's home that has claimed ownership of the land? Who is there that he's asking about? About now. All right, thank you.
So you hear that talking, and I don't know what they're saying. Of course, that would require for me to have to go back and the headphones on, and just like a forensic audio expert, go back and listen. I mean, that's what just like a forensic audio expert would have to sit and listen to the surveillance tape of two mobsters talking in a warehouse about a hit that they did. Some of it may be hard to transcribe. So based on the expertise of that forensic audio expert, they have to sit there, go clean it up, put it, without doing too many things to it. That's what they have to do. So you can hear it.
You definitely got a response.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just that it has to be dissected to actually
Correct.
Somebody out to the response. But the point is that it wasn't complete silence.
No.
It was a response.
Oh, right. Right.
So then they're trying to respond through their dimension to.
Do you want to try one more just for a quick response? You want to move on? You want to try for one more?
No, we only got like 15 minutes left, so
no problem.
But
I want to help. I want to show as much as I can with you guys and give you guys.
If you can, definitely email that to me. So if you
this
can.
part too, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to email you the one that we recorded on my app, and then I'm going to and I'll record that on my phone and just send you that recording there for the.
If you're ever alone and you just happen to be using your box, and if you could ask who's in the Horsefly Chronicles home, they sure. Like that label. I don't know why, and that came from other paranormal teams from around the world that were here. They made the label. I don't know, but maybe you could tell us something we don't know.
No, that's cool. I mean, I would definitely suggest that also you download the app, and if you ever get anything that you think you hear something, you can just send that recording right to me in my email, and I can take a listen and say, hey, this is what I hear. You know, I mean, I can't do that for everybody. And I do offer a service where people can send me up to 5 recordings for like, you know, next to nothing. And I'll listen and see if I can transcribe it. But if you guys ever did, you know, please send it to me. I'll take a listen and see, you know.
Well, let me ask you this question. We're probably gonna have to have you back on because there's just so many questions that I have that we're never gonna get to. But as a medium, what do you pick up anything that, you know, in response to Phil's question?
Oh, okay. So you're asking a direct, yeah. So, you know, the way that, you know, other people have grown up with this ability, it's that they just kind of feel things as they go through the grocery store, they're walking through something and they pick things up. The way it's been a lot of work for me, and I've had some amazing readings and sessions, but it's really about me tuning in. I have to really tune in and go, okay, set the intention. I'm going to ask now about this, and then I'm going to focus, and it takes a few minutes. So, you know, I mean, let me kind of think about that, you know, let me kind of ask that later on, or, you know, when I'm listening to this and see, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
because, you know, yeah, I don't want to just I don't want to just kind of rush myself and throw something out there.
I definitely have a question. So now we've watched so many of your videos and they're all amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So now, but before you did say that, you know, when you have anyone coming through, it's not 100%.
Correct.
It's never 100% accurate, but you do have celebrities that you've spoken to. So we have Kobe Bryant, Bob Saget, Brittany Murphy, Robin Williams, David Bowie, Princess Diana, so many more. What you have to have some kind of you definitely must think that it is them. Let's say like 80%, right?
Yeah, no. I feel more that it is them. I
Okay.
trust in.
I'm
Think
sorry,
that it is.
That's the question.
Sorry, I missed I was talking. I'm sorry.
What makes you think that it is them?
It's an intuitive feeling. It's a psychic intuitive feeling that I'm connecting with them, but also when I'm going back and I'm listening to the responses, and the responses are so most of the time so very accurate to what is being, you know, to what they would say, that I have to believe it's them. That doesn't mean everyone has to believe that. I understand how ridiculous this seems and looks. If I came upon this, you know, on YouTube, I would say, get the heck out of here. Come on. I mean, so I totally get the skepticism and other people that might have that. But I know that I've got something going on here. There's something very special happening here. You know, I didn't know why I reached out to Gabby Petito. I didn't even ask for her before I asked about her before she was found. And I got that Brian did it, that he escaped, that she was dead. That was on the 18th. On the 19th, her body was found, and that Brian had escaped. And then there was some other things that came out with that. Yeah. But I was, you know, a lot of people attacked me on that. Why would you ask for her? You're exploiting and this and that. And I said, no, this is what I do. I do with love and respect. Everything I do is 100% real. And I have no problem showing that anywhere, anytime. I would help her family or anyone's family for free if I can. I've done a lot of pro bono free work just to help people. But a lot more people need to see this kind of work, need to see how real it is and what's going on. So a high profile case like that was an excellent opportunity for more people to be able to see what's going on. Now, I had no idea what I was going to capture, but with her facts, I mean, she said that she was hit in the head. Mm-hmm. She said that, you know, that Brian did it and that he was dead. He was dead. She said he was dead 20 days prior to the news, 30 days prior to the news of him coming out that he was dead almost. Okay. You know, I asked for her to show herself using water ITC, a technique using water to capture image of spirit. And I captured an image, and it's the original image on my phone with the metadata that's all right there. It's very simple. And it's an exact image of her that is able to match up with an already taken photo. I don't know how that works. It's mind blowing, but I know for a fact, I know for me that I reached Gabby. When I reached Kobe, the session was when I reached out to Kobe, the session was extremely powerful, very clear. What was even more mind blowing about that connection that I had with him was that weeks after I had asked for him, I was doing a private session for a client, asking for her loved one. And one of my guides said, Kobe wants to come through. And I went, whoa, is this person actually coming to me requesting to come through on his own? I'm not asking for him right now. I already asked for him weeks prior. So in a private moment, I said, hey, to the guides, did I hear that right? Did Kobe Bryant want to come through? And they said, yes, ask for him. I asked for him and he came through the responses were very clear. So I do believe that myself and a few others are known somewhat on the other side, I guess, as doing this kind of work at times, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to put too much on that. I don't want to, that's not, you know what I'm saying? I think that there's something to it. That's all I can say.
Has any of the spirits on either side given you information to help you solve a murder or a missing person case, such as Natalie Holloway, her body was never found? Any information that came across like that, or is it that the spirit looks at things different than we're looking at, and they don't want to answer some of this information?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I kept really blasting Gabby with questions of where is Brian? Where is he? Like, what's going on? Like, I really asked a lot of questions and she gave or I received a lot of answers, but there was a point where it's almost like I wasn't getting answers to those questions anymore. Summer Wells' body has not been found. The missing 5-year-old girl from Tennessee. Okay. It's a heartbreaking case. There are missing children all over the world, and it's beyond heartbreaking. And I would love to figure out a way to do something with all of them, but I couldn't, and I, it's just impossible. But I really try to put some more time in trying to help find some answers about Summer Wells. And I wasn't asking for her. I was asking about her. I was asking my guides about her. Where is she? Can we help find her? But they said Summer was here. Summer was there to talk, or that Summer could talk. And that made me think that, then she may not be alive anymore, and we don't know that, right? We don't know that. So I had to make that clear that I do not know, but I'm going to follow the lead where it's taking me. And they're saying to talk to her. So I got to try to talk to her. And when I did, she said, a body of water near a lake. She said some other things that were very too much medicine, she said. I said, what message do you have for like maybe your parents or anyone else? And she said too much medicine. So there were things that were coming out, but there was also some stuff it kind of was like, I don't know how much more they were going to be able to give me. So I really have not done as much as I would like in the missing persons area. I think I would like to do more. I'd like to maybe work with law enforcement. I've worked with a couple institutes on proving the ability with experiments, and we've done some unbelievable work that I've posted the videos on. So it's like, it's there. I don't know how much more I'll be able to get. So that's more of an arena that I need to tackle, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, for my research and dealing with paranormal investigators, sometimes the spirit doesn't want to, they look at things different than we're looking at it. We want every answer, right? Because our perception is different. And when they're on the other side, they're opened up.
It's not as important to them anymore, that one specific thing. It was almost like at some point, it was like Gabby was just like, when asking for Gabby and connecting with that energy, it felt like she was like, I don't want to talk about Brian anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to talk, or I just want to, and I want to just feel normal and just talking right now. Like, she expressed that it was really cool to just come through and be able to have a voice and to be able to communicate with someone at such a difficult time. I mean, some people will say, that sounds ridiculous, Josh. Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? And I would say, yes, I totally agree with how hard that is to take in. But, you know, when people, the more people that watch what I do, the more people that get sessions by me, you know, and I don't want to know anything about who you're trying to reach, or I don't want to know any of that crap prior. You know, you tell me that the minute that we're recording, that's when we do that. That's when you tell me who you want to reach, you know, and so I try to make that as easy for the person to, that when we do capture something amazing, that they don't have to go and start trying to discount it or whatever. It's for them there. And we've just done so much stuff that it's like, all you can do now is just watch it and understand that I'm just showing you what I'm capturing. It's for you to decide what it is I'm getting. But I love the work. It's the most amazing thing I've ever encountered. Anyone that fakes this kind of work or does or plays on people's emotions is representing the worst of humanity, unfortunately. And that's a shame. There are people out there that are doing that. And it hurts the guys that are doing it for real. You know, it really does. But
well,
no,
yeah.
I know it's true. And to the listener out there, as I said on many shows and interviews with our guests, you can communicate with loved ones.
yes.
And what would be your advice for somebody at home who lost a loved one and they want to communicate?
Well, I'll make this quick. The most important thing, if you have to start, you really need answers and you want to start seeking, I wouldn't really start trying to seek without connecting with a higher power of your own understanding first. Okay. And I say that because I don't want you to go down a road without having some kind of protection or feeling that protection. So I think that it's important that you have some kind of connection to source or higher power understanding, maybe a simple prayer. It doesn't have to be religious. It could just be spiritual. And then, and say, hey, to God, whoever's out there, the source, you know, I'm looking for answers from this loved one. I'm asking for your protection, and I'm going to start seeking a little bit. And then you could embark on that journey and maybe, you know, use my app or an app like that for free or something simple. Really, you can do a very simple envision seeing your loved one there in your mind, and envision seeing and touching their face and then giving them a hug.
Yeah.
And like, and just kind of talking to them and seeing what that response is. Even if you go, was that me? Was that my head? Or was that really them? Don't worry about it. When you do that, I get responses on the recorders and the boxes all the time saying that when the people here do that with them, that it's really happening, that the loved one on the other side really feels it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That means you don't need boxes. You don't need devices. You don't need recorders. You don't even need mediums. You can have your own experience yourself that you can continue to cultivate and work on and incorporate your higher power in that experience. You'll be protected. You'll be filled with light. You'll have a light-filled experience. You'll start to feel that your loved one is alive on the other side, that this really is, it's just a transition. So that's the most important thing.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Well, Josh, this hour just flew by. We would love to have you back on.
Most
because,
definitely.
Like I said,
I
we
know,
have.
and I didn't even get to mention that I am running a master class with my teacher, Deborah Lynn Katz, and it starts April 11th. So HO.PE you can check that out. I'm going to take everyone through, or anyone that signs up, through everything I do and teach you how to do it. I mean, and that's so that's just, I have to mention that. I'm going to get in trouble for not mentioning that earlier.
Of course. Thank you so
to
much.
the listener, reach out to him. I mean, look, today, if you listen to the show, it's amazing. We made contact with somebody here at our own home through his device, and, you know, open up your mind, your heart, your soul, your energy, and you could manifest the spirit energy that you may be missing,
careful.
that loved one, and say protection prayers. It's been a great show, and we definitely want to do a part 2.
Definitely.
And you do have a book, really quick. Where can people get your book?
Yeah, Amazon, Finding Hope in the Afterlife. I put my whole life story. I put everything in there and all my research. It's got pictures and it's got links to every video. For every story I tell you, you get to click on a link, whether, you know, you go to the domain, but you go right to it and watch the video of what I just described. Finding Hope in the Afterlife. HopeParanormal.com. You can get everything there.
Like the
Yes.
title. Well, thank you so much for coming on Horsefly.
No, you guys are pleasures. Amazing. Thank you so much.
This
Anytime.
has been an awesome
It
experience
really
for
was
us.
a great show.
Yes.
Oh, God
And
bless you both. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
We have to say special thank you to Carnation for fully sponsoring the
I
show.
love Carnation Instant Breakfast.
Yes.
I just love them so
Them
much.
so much. Thank you so much for that. And please join us next Monday night on the United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM from New Orleans. And stay tuned for Trish Mo with The Missing Piece.
Everyone have a safe, great night, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you,
Horsefly
Josh.
Chronicles Radio, and there'll definitely be a part 2 with Josh.
There definitely
Thank
will
you.
be.
Bye-bye.